Here's what we're making today. I'm gonna show you how. It's pretty easy. All right, everybody, I'm back, and the first project is going to be a homemade, a little self-propelled or manually propelled car. We have really basic materials. I have a little box of toothpaste that I'm going to use for the body of the car. I have some additional cardboard that I'm going to use for the wheels. A straw is really helpful. And then a skewer, which is a little wooden rod. You can also use chopsticks if you have some chopsticks at home. Or worst case scenario, you can always use a pencil if you need to. Okay, so lots of different options. And then some scissors and some tape and something to write with. So I have a Sharpie here. Okay, so basically this is going to be the body of the vehicle, and I need to build the wheels for it. To build the wheels, we need to find something that's circular. So I looked around my shop and I found just a top, round top. Anything that's round will work. And I thought this would be a good size for the wheels, about that big. So all you do is you set it down, right? You trace it, making sure it's nice and tight against the cardboard. Okay, and there it is. Also really important is to try to find the middle. The middle is a little tricky to find sometimes, and you can kind of eyeball it like I did, or you can measure the halfway distance from one side to the other using a ruler too, and finding it there and then also there. But if you're pretty good at eyeballing it, the closer to the center you are, the smoother the wheels are going to be. Once you have that done, then you're just cutting the wheels out. So nice and carefully, right along the edge. Okay. The smoother you cut out the wheels, the better your car is going to roll. Imagine if your car had square wheels or really choppy wheels, it would just be bouncing around everywhere, right? So in this case, here's a wheel. I actually already cut the other 3, so I'm kind of ready to go. I got 4 wheels. I've got my middle points all marked off already. And so now I'm going to take a skewer, and if you don't have a skewer, you can use something else like a push pin. I have some push pins here too, which you can use to just pierce a hole through the cardboard. Okay, so you can mark the middle. This is where your axle is going to go. It's what's going to hold the wheel together. Okay, I put a hole in each one of those. And let's get down to building the axle. Now here's the thing. If I glue this to here and then glue the wheel here, the stick isn't going to be able to move. We need to make sure the stick can move freely. In order for it to move freely, I decided, well, let's use a straw. We place it inside the straw, and the straw keeps it from going anywhere, but it can still rotate. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the straw a little bit wider than the box, one here, and I'm going to cut 2 of them same size, so another one right here. Okay, so I've got my 2 pieces of straw. This is going to be for my 2 axles, and then I need my stick to be a little bit longer than the straw, because my wheels are going to have to go in there, right? So I'm actually going to cut it about halfway. Okay, and you can also just kind of break it if you want. There you go, halfway. Awesome. Okay, so now this is where the building part comes in. You take your skewer, place it through the straw, and you place it through the first wheel. Now I'm going to right through that hole that you made right there. Okay, and now there's a couple of options. You can use some tape and put it right here. If I were you, I would use a little bit of glue. If you have some regular white glue, that would work. I happen to have a hot glue gun, which is perfect, so I can show you quickly in this video so it doesn't take too long. But you don't need a hot glue gun to do this. You can just use regular glue. You just have to wait a little longer for it to set. So I've already had it on. I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue around the outside of the wheel and also around the inside. to make sure it's kind of stuck there, it's not going anywhere. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the other one. So I'm going to build another one for the back side. Okay, and I got to pierce this one through as well. So make this hole a little bit bigger so I can put the stick through it. And like I said, if you don't have anything like this at home, you can use a pencil, and then you can make holes on the side that are bigger than the pencil and just stick the pencil through the box, and then that'll work too. Or, I mean, there's lots of different ways you could do it. If you find another creative way, let me know. You can just respond to this video or post it back on the site, and you can share it with everybody else as well. Okay, so I've got my 2 wheels right here, one side. Now, I can add the other side, but remember, before I add the other side, I need the straw there, right? I think it's easier when you build to glue the straw here first, or tape it. So, for example, if I wanted to tape it instead of use the hot glue gun, it'd be pretty easy. I could just take a little bit of tape right here, and I'm gonna stick it to the box right there and right there. So here's my first axle. Do the same thing with the other one. And again, you know, you can always glue it on there. With hot glue, it actually works pretty well, but since I have the tape, I'm just going to use the tape. Put the other one on this side, and there we go. So now I've got the axles. I've already got one side of my wheels in. Slide them in, and to finish, all I have to do is glue the other side onto here. So I'm going to make these holes just a little bit bigger here so I can squeeze the skewer through them. Just take the edge of the scissors a little bit, push it through there. Okay. Once it's in, I'm going to glue this side too so it stays on nice and tight. Okay. Put a little bit on the inside just to be sure. And now here's an important thing. If you notice the wheel, the back wheel's kind of bent, it's important that when you glue it, it kind of stays as straight as possible. Okay, so I adjusted it a little bit, and hopefully it'll dry that way. And I'm going to go ahead and do this other one. Same idea, just put it through here. And put a little bit of glue on there, inside and outside. Just kind of rotating it a little bit as I do it. Again, it's a little bit crooked, so I got to fix it quickly before it dries with the hot glue. Okay. All right. Wait about 30 seconds, and then I should be able to flip this guy over and see if it rolls, see if it works. So you can see here, right, here it is. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and give it a nice little push, barely push. But you can see the wheels are pretty smooth. It runs pretty smooth because I took the time and cut them out really nicely. I used a stencil for it. Okay. Now this is just a regular one. This is not powered by anything, right? So there's a. I'll probably do a couple of variations. This is one that you would just use pushing. You could also this one is cool because you can store stuff in here, right? You could be like, oh, there's the trunk of the car, and you can stick stuff in there for transport. Like if you wanted to transport that marker, and there you go, and send it on its way. Cool. well, that's it for the first video. Tune in. I'm going to modify this one a couple different ways to show you what you can do if you have some additional materials at home, to try to wire it up to make an electronic one, or even a wind powered one, or a rubber band powered one. So we'll do a couple variations, which hopefully you can follow along as well. Okay, stay safe and see you next time.